In this video, I want to discuss a topic that keeps coming up a lot: rumination. I keep hearing it from my clients and see all the comments on my videos about it, so I want to go over what it is, why it happens, and of course, how you can begin to make all of it stop. If you enjoy the content, I do invite you to subscribe for more. Briefly, I want to define rumination. Rumination is an extremely obsessive thought pattern. It is incredibly hard to break. You keep thinking about the same things over and over. True rumination is very distracting. You can't concentrate at all. And as a result of this, your work suffers, your other relationships can suffer, your kids, etc. You get into your own head, your own brain way, way too deeply. And the first thing I want you to know is that this is normal when you've been in a narcissistic relationship. It's incredibly common and it doesn't have to last forever, and usually it doesn't. Rumination is normal after being in a relationship with a narcissist. Well, why? Let's think about it. A relationship with a narcissist. It is nothing but manipulation, mind games, power struggles, control issues. These people lack logic. A lot of what they do makes absolutely no sense at all. As a result of that, here you are now trying to make sense of all of the confusion. And there is a lot of it between gaslighting, triangulation, everything else I just talked about, and more. Lots of people have very similar thoughts when they're ruminating. The most common ones are, well, maybe I'm the problem. You're told you're the problem, right? The narcissist told you so. Well, maybe they were right. Or what could I have done differently to make this work? Maybe I just wasn't clear about certain things. A lot of the times the narc's new supply gets pulled in to our rumination too. Thoughts of, well, why is this new person so special? Or what do they have that I don't have? What happens if the narcissist changes and all of a sudden they and this new person are just gonna live out some kind of wonderful, romantic, perfect fairy tale? Some people reflect and ruminate about being discarded, just being abused in general, or hell, even being love bombed. We get nostalgic and fall back into obsessively thinking about when we were love bombed and all the good times that we had. Some people ruminate on the whole devaluing stage, and we can end up having entire conversations in our brain, in our minds with this person. Oh, I should have said this. I should have said that. Oh, if I would have done this, Oh, I know if they hoover me, I'll do this and I'll show them. You play all these scenarios in your head over and over and over. Through the love bombing, the devaluing, about the discard, really any and all of it. And sometimes it can change depending on what's going on. You feel the need to play it out, all the ideas, like I say, all the scenarios. You're trying to find something where it could be different. You're trying to do what everyone who is ruminating is trying to do. You're trying to make sense where there is no sense to be made whatsoever. And in some cases, you're trying to fix something that is extremely broken and cannot be fixed. You obsess about how to make all the wrong things right. And some of this, I feel, is because there's a lack of closure that we get. There's no closure when the relationship with the narc ends, usually. We get no information about anything. And so we become desperate for answers to things. We get triggered by certain things and convinced that we have to do right. We have to do better. We have to fix what's unfixable. And this can absolutely consume a person. You might be stalking social media. You might be driving by their house or their work. You might have a whole letter typed out and ready to go that you're waiting to fire back if you get hoovered or if you see them somewhere. So much time, effort, and energy is being put into something that will never change, and it will never make a damn bit of difference. And the thing is you keep doing it over and over and over. If you'd like to talk one-on-one about what you're going through with a narcissist and get some help and support, you can email BookAChatWithJess@gmail.com for information on setting up private chats with me. So what can be done to start to make all of this go away? The first thing that I always recommend is therapy. If you can, go see a therapist or a counselor. They can work with you and hear your situation and give you tools that are catered to you and your situation to be able to help. And not just in this area of your life, but in other areas too. When it comes to trying to break the obsession, the habit that's now formed, which is what this is, the next thing I want to bring up is distractions. And I've talked about this before, and most people know my stance on distractions and that they don't really work as far as I'm concerned. But when dealing with rumination, I want to bring this up and discuss it a little bit differently. Yes, anything you can do to distract yourself, even if it is for 5 seconds, do it. A lot of times when you're doing something and you begin to ruminate, sometimes all you need to do is just get up and walk into another room and start doing something else. When I get too deep into my own bullshit, I learned in therapy, I literally just get up and go into another room and start doing something else. It is a quick, simple little thing that can distract you in the moment. I truly don't think that distractions do a lot of the work, though. It's kind of one of those, it's just kind of popped up. What do I do? What I do believe does do a lot of the work is passion and purpose. And I know those of you who have been on my channel for years now knew that I was going to get here. There is a difference between distractions and passions. A passion is something that fascinates you. It lights a fire under your ass, and it becomes all that you focus on. For me, a passion is doing work here on my channel. I've been working, scripting, doing something knee-deep in email or something. I have totally missed my phone ringing, audibly ringing on my desk right next to me because I'm in a zone. I'm completely zoned out. I'm doing something that has really just got me in its depths, and I can't get out. The more you turn your mind on to other things, distractions, doing something different, finding a passion, the narc and your situation in general is in your mind less and less and less. And that's the whole goal here. If you go from thinking about someone 24 hours a day to 23 and a half hours a day and 22 hours a day, and slowly you start filling your life with other things, distractions, hobbies, purpose, passions, things like that, then slowly you are going to break the habit and break the cycle. I like passions and purpose. Purpose is something I've begun to lump in along with passion when I talk about this. Passion and purpose make you feel valuable. It makes you feel amazing to have a passion to work on, or several. Some people call them hobbies. That's fine. I have hobbies, but I also have passions. And you know the difference as far as I'm concerned. You know it's a passion when you dive in, and like I do, you completely lose yourself and track of time. If you're not even thinking about yourself, you know who you also aren't thinking about. And I like passions and purposes that are helpful and creative. I like to help others and volunteer. I donate to organizations. It makes you feel good on top of that. It boosts your self-esteem. It helps get that ego up a little bit that's now in the dumps because of a narcissist. Being creative is also great because you get to do just that. You get to create something. You get to make something where there wasn't anything before. My whole career is full of passion and purpose. I get to try and help people, and I get to make my videos. I get to make content. I create something where there wasn't something before. I get the best of both worlds. I'll also share what I learned in therapy with you, which is mindfulness. Mindfulness is used to try and relieve anxiety, which is sometimes what we feel a lot of when we're ruminating. We're very, very anxious. We're very, very nervous and upset. And some examples of practicing that mindful behavior are things like breathing exercises, meditation, stretching. Some people do yoga. Some people do exercises where they try to find things they can taste and touch and smell to kind of help keep you grounded and keep you mindful in the moment. As far as mindfulness, I can't speak too seriously on it. I just do very specific things that work for me, but I do recommend, of course, working with a professional on things like mindfulness. And you can do yet another thing I did, which I call, quote unquote, get revenge. You're not actually going to get revenge. There isn't anything you can do. But for me, once I learned what I had been dealing with, I did what I could to, quote unquote, like get even. I started this YouTube channel. I wanted to expose in a weird kind of way. I did therapy, still do therapy, got sober. I learned there is no real revenge, but I started doing things that he said I couldn't do. I started doing things to make myself feel better. I started thinking, I can actually overcome this and be even better than I was before I met him. I'm going to do things he thinks I'm too weak to do. I'm going to do things that he told me I never could do. But the thing about it is that's what I started doing it for. I'm like, oh, I'll show you. I'll be better, wiser, faster, stronger. In the end, I stopped doing it to get revenge, so to speak, on him. And I actually kept doing them for me because they made me so happy. They made me proud of myself. It showed me who I really could be. And you can do it too. What did the narc say that you couldn't do? Go and do whatever it is because it feels really good and it stops becoming a revenge thing and becomes more of a you thing. If you have any other tips on how you maybe stopped ruminating or you don't do it as much, I do ask you to please leave them down in the comments for other survivors to read. If we share and, get all this knowledge back and forth, then we can all help each other out. Thank you so much for listening. Please like and subscribe if you haven't. Have a great day, survivor, and take care of yourself.